To understand China, you must first understand its land, a vast, sprawling giant across Eastasia, almost the size of Europe. Its mountains, deserts, rivers, and coastline are not just features. They are the invisible hands shaping China's history, culture, and politics. The fertile eastern plains, watered by mighty rivers, have supported huge populations for millennia, while the west and north are defined by hostile mountains and deserts. Geography has been both China's shield and its curse, a protected heartland, but with long, vulnerable borders and restless peripheries. Leaders in Beijing, from emperors to communist officials, have always obsessed over holding this diverse territory together. The fear of fragmentation, of the country breaking apart along its geographical and ethnic lines, drives every major decision, from the Great Wall to the Belt and Road Initiative. Geography gave China the potential for greatness, but also handed it permanent problems it still struggles with today. Why is Beijing so sensitive about Tibet, Xinjiang, or the South China Sea? Look at the map. China is a prisoner of its geography, but the scale of its ambition to break free has global consequences. To ignore China's geography is to misunderstand its power, its fears, and its destiny. The land shapes the nation, and the world feels its impact. China is two countries in one, divided by the Haihe-Tengchong line. East of the line, 43% of the land, 94% of the people, megacities, factories, ports, and the Han Chinese heartland. The North China Plain is the historical core, flat, fertile, and densely populated, the engine room of China's power and culture. Life here is shaped by monsoon rains and great rivers, sustaining a vast population and generating the nation's wealth. West of the line, 57% of the land, just 6% of the people, a world of mountains, plateaus, and deserts. Here live dozens of ethnic minorities like Tibetans and Uyghurs in harsh, sparsely populated regions. The West is strategically vital, a buffer against Central and South Asia, and a source of oil, gas, and minerals. For Beijing, controlling the West is non-negotiable, essential for security and economic survival. This divide fuels tension. The East is prosperous and powerful, the West is restive and resistant. The government's drive to integrate the West, often by force, is a permanent challenge. The Great Divide is a fault line at the heart of the Chinese state. Geography makes unity difficult, but for China, it's a matter of survival. The struggle between these two halves shapes the nation's destiny. The Yangtze and Yellow Rivers are China's arteries, flowing from the Tibetan Plateau to the eastern seas. These rivers created the fertile lands that fed 1 billion people and enabled the rise of Chinese civilization. The Yellow River, the cradle of Chinese dynasties, is both a giver of life and a source of devastating floods, China's sorrow. Controlling these rivers has always been a test of leadership and a symbol of the state's power. The Yangtze, Asia's longest river, is the economic powerhouse, its basin home to 1/3 of China's people and nearly half its output. Major cities like Shanghai, Beijing, Guangzhou, and Shenzhen owe their growth to this riverine and coastal geography. The Three Gorges Dam on the Yangtze is a modern attempt to conquer nature and secure prosperity. These cities are the nodes of power, wealth, and population, anchored by geography. The rivers connect the heartland to the world, shaping China's past and future. Geography is destiny, and the rivers are its lifeblood. West of the Haihe-Tengchong line, China's geography becomes a fortress of mountains and deserts. The Himalayas, Pamirs, Tian Shan, and the Gobi and Taklamakan deserts form natural barriers, protecting the heartland from invasion. But a buffer is only useful if you control it. Hence Beijing's relentless grip on Tibet and Xinjiang. These regions are not just remote provinces, they are strategic assets, vital for security. An unstable West could invite foreign influence or separatism, threatening the core. Beijing has built roads, railways, and surveillance networks to secure these regions and move Han migrants in. Harsh policies and forced assimilation are seen as necessary to maintain unity and control. This comes at a high cost, international condemnation and deep local resentment. Yet from Beijing's perspective, the West is too important to lose. It's the lock on China's back door. Geography demands control, no matter the cost. The Wild West is a land of fear for both its people and its rulers. As long as the mountains and deserts stand, so will Beijing's determination to hold them. Building walls is a Chinese tradition, born from geography and fear. The Great Wall was built to shield the fertile plains from northern nomads, a man-made mountain range marking the edge of civilization. It was never perfect, but it symbolized the desire for order and control. Today the threat is digital, not physical. so China built the Great Firewall. This system blocks foreign websites and censors domestic content, protecting the state from destabilizing ideas. The goal is the same, to control what comes in and out, to defend unity and stability. The digital wall is invisible, adaptive, and more formidable than stone. China's obsession with walls, physical or virtual, reflects its deep-seated fear of chaos and its drive for control. Geography and history still shape the Chinese state's instinct to build barriers. China was long a land power, focused on its heartland and borders, not the sea. But today, over 80% of its imported oil travels by sea, through choke points controlled by rivals. This vulnerability drives China's aggressive push into the South China Sea, building islands, militarizing them, and claiming almost the entire sea. Beijing wants to turn the South China Sea into a strategic bastion, securing shipping lanes and projecting power. Taiwan is the most critical piece, an unsinkable aircraft carrier at the edge of the first island chain, blocking China's access to the Pacific. Control of Taiwan would shatter this chain, giving China deep-water ports and a launch pad for a global navy. These moves are not just about pride, they are cold calculations of geography and security. China seeks to break free from maritime containment, just as it secures its land borders. This ambition brings it into conflict with neighbors and the US, making the region a global flashpoint. The future of the 21st century may be decided in these contested waters. Geography, once again, is at the heart of the struggle. China's maritime vulnerabilities have forced it to seek new routes to power, on land. The Belt and Road Initiative is the answer, a vast network of roads, railways, and pipelines across Eurasia, and a chain of ports from Asia to Africa and Europe. By building overland corridors, China can bypass maritime choke points and secure energy and trade routes. Ports in Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Djibouti, and Greece give China strategic footholds far from home. The goal to reorient the world's economic geography around China, binding dozens of countries through infrastructure and debt. This is geopolitics on an epic scale, a bid to break out of its geographical prison and build a China-centric order. The risks are real debt, resistance, and suspicion from other powers. But the ambition is clear: remake the map, secure the future, and become a global superpower. The Belt and Road is China's grand strategy to overcome its limits. Geography is not destiny, if you can build your way out. China's leaders know their strength hides deep cracks, many tied to geography and population. Rivers that once gave life are now polluted and strained by overuse and climate change, especially in the north. The South-to-North Water Diversion Project is a costly, risky attempt to fix this imbalance. Demographics are another crisis. The one-child policy has left China aging before it grows rich, with a shrinking workforce and rising social costs. Regional tensions persist. The wealthy East and the restive, poorer West remain divided. Ethnic resentment simmers, especially where development benefits Han migrants over local minorities. Hong Kong's unique identity clashes with Beijing's demand for control, fueling protests and crackdowns. Environmental degradation, demographic decline, and regional friction threaten the party's promise of stability. The state responds with overwhelming force, desperate to paper over the cracks. If these pressures erupt, the entire edifice could be at risk. China's modern behavior is a continuation of an ancient struggle, imposing order on a vast, challenging land. Unity is paramount. Disunity means chaos, weakness, and foreign domination. Geography makes unity fragile, so it must be maintained at any cost. This imperative explains China's authoritarianism, intolerance of dissent, and centralized power. Democracy is seen as a luxury China cannot afford, a risk to the unity it needs to survive. The mandate of heaven has become a mandate of geography, driving China's actions at home and abroad. Its push into the South China Sea, pressure on Taiwan, and Belt and Road Initiative are all part of breaking free from its constraints. China is both confident and insecure, shaped by its achievements and its fears. As China rises, its struggle with geography becomes the world's struggle. In the end, geography is destiny, and China's destiny shapes us all.